Okay, here we are. It's almost Shvi Pesach. We are once again going to be in Yontav, and I'm very excited about this Yontav. I must tell you, 21 years ago on Shvi Pesach, I became a mother. It truly was a Kiryat Yam Suf for me. It's a very special day for me. And here we go. 9 months before that, I will tell you what happened. Lots of miracles happened. But 9 months before that, I was standing there and I was davening. And I realized after another treatment had failed that something changed inside of me. I said, you know what, Hashem, if you want us to have a kid, we will. And if you don't want us to have a kid, we won't. And then all of a sudden, I felt free. What? Free? That's right. I was scared to say such a thing. Like, if you want this to happen, it's going to happen. And if you don't, it won't. There was something so freeing about it. I felt like I just took a plunge. 9 months later, and yes, of course, I kept davening, and we did our shtalis, we did our effort. But 9 months later, Shvi Pesach, the last day of Pesach, my eldest was born. A true Kiryat Yam Suf, a true miracle. Now let me ask you something. There are times in your life where you're running, and you're running, and you're running, and you're doing, and you're doing, and you're davening, and you're not seeing anything happen. Let me ask you, do you just feel like giving up? I'm sure you do. All of us do. We're like, how much more can I do, Hashem? I've cried enough. I've screamed enough. I fought enough. I've worked enough. That's it. I give up. And that's exactly what the Yetzer wants us to do. He wants us to come to a point where we stop screaming. We stop crying. We stop trying. He wants us to give up. And what does Hashem want us to do in order to have our own personal Kiryat Yam Suf? He wants us to keep going. You see, that's why maybe it comes and brings our Levi from Natan. And Hashem said to Moshe, stop screaming. Because you're teaching the people that the only way they get something is by screaming out to me. I want them to know that they can also whisper out to me and they're also going to have miracles. The most important thing I want them to know is they just have to keep going and keep going with me, with Hashem. You see, because in some ways it would have been kind of easy to fight. Like, after all, they had arms. Wouldn't it make sense? Like, it's such a shtal. Normal shtal is according to Teva, according to nature. Like, I should just fight the Egyptians. Or wouldn't it make sense to also just lift up your arms and say, okay, I give up. That's enough. I tried. It also would make sense to think, okay, maybe Hashem can do some kind of other miracle where, like, he'll have these raging animals eat the Egyptians. I don't know. A million things could have happened. But the one thing that people did not expect was that Hashem would split the seed for them. And this is something we have to learn from Kiryat Yam Suf. That the moment of despair, when I feel like giving up because I've tried so hard and I can't anymore, Hashem is saying, okay, don't try so hard, but just keep going. And then you're going to see miracles happening. The hardest thing for us to do is to have Hashem's ratzon be our ratzon, is to have Hashem's desire be our desire. But when we say that and we plant it in our minds, and then we say it and we plant it in our words, and we say it and we try to plant it in our actions, Hashem, your ratzon is my ratzon, I am telling you the sea splits. And it makes so much sense to me also that why Parnasa and Shidduchim would have to do with Kiryat Yam Suf. Why? Because a person thinks that their livelihood is in their hands. Like, if I just do a little bit more, I will have more money. Doesn't it make sense? In some way I have to please somebody or do something more. And Hashem says, you know what? You're going to do something, but you're going to keep walking with me. And even though you're trying to please somebody else, you're going to be doing my ratzon, always in the midst of it. And with Shidduchim, I'm telling you, it is so humbling. There's no way that you do not bow your head at one point or another and you say, okay, Hashem, your ratzon is going to be my ratzon. It's not my ratzon. I'm looking for this perfect thing. It's not happening here. But I'm going to marry the person that is your ratzon, should be my ratzon. So here we go. Segula of the century is to do what? To try to make Hashem's ratzon your ratzon. It is not easy. I am telling you, I know it's not easy. But this first day of Pesach, I walked to the Kotel, and I so longed to be at the Kotel. And I walked there, and there was this line, just to be in the tunnels of the Kotel. I said, I can't wait in that line. I went into the Rova, and there I saw the Kotel. And the Kotel was desolate. It was empty, and I wanted to cry. First day of Yom Tov, and I wanted to cry. And then I took a deep breath, and I said, okay, Hashem, this makes me feel like giving up, but I'm not going to let it be. I'm going to stand here, and there was a little family with their children saying Shir Malt, and it was heartbreaking, really, seeing the Kotel so empty. And I said, okay, this is Hashem's Ratzon also. How could it be Hashem's Ratzon? It is, because we're not there. So I'll take whatever I can get. And I davened, my heart at the Kotel, my eyes were seeing the Kotel. And I realized, if you have a desire of something, then the desire, you're already there. And this week's Parsha, which is right after Pesach, is Shemini. And it's an incredibly heartbreaking way of the beginning of the Parsha, because Aaron's two sons, they're taken, they're died. And they're asked, okay, why were they taken? it comes and brings different explanations. They died because they were offering a korban that they were not supposed to offer. They offered something that was not what they were supposed to be doing. Another opinion is because they acted on their own. They didn't ask their teachers. Another opinion is because they didn't get married. And all these opinions, I was thinking about them, have to do with what? That their desire was stronger than the desire of Hashem. Because Hashem wants us to get married, and He wants us to be humbled and ask our teachers their opinions and for advice. And Hashem is asking us to do what He wants and not what we want, right? All the time. And what was the tikkun of that? How was that like? What could Aaron do? His 2 sons are taken from him. And yes, later on we see that Aaron said to Moshe, how can I be rejoicing right now? I can't be eating right now. I'm heartbroken. Yet Aaron did something that was incredible. It was so powerful. And it was almost a tikkun for his 2 sons who do not actually make their desire Hashem's desire. They wanted Hashem's desire to be their desire. What did Moshe do? It says not that Aaron, what did he do? It does not say that shatak Aaron, that he was quiet. It says, brings Me'ir and Chachamim, that he was domem, like a domem. It brings in that he was quiet, but not in quiet as in shh, be quiet, as domem, as in what? An object. You see, we have 4 levels. There's an object, there's vegetation, there's an animal, right? And a medaber, a person who speaks. So when a person is in pain, they cry out to Hashem, or they cry out, they're in pain. When an animal gets hurt, they also scream out. When a plant who does not scream out, but if you pick a plant, all of a sudden the form of the plant gets destroyed. However, an object, no matter what you do to the object, it will not change. It just stays the same. Aaron had got to a level where he had no more ratzon. He was like a domem. He was like an object. Now, it's not the goal for us to get to that, because Hashem does want us to cry out to Him, and He wants us to feel pain, and He wants us to scream, and He wants us to change. But the tikkun of that I can't make your will, my will, Hashem, has to be that at times we have to make ourselves almost like into an object, in the sense of saying that I am completely and totally acceptance of your will. So that even though this is painful to me, Hashem, I'm accepting it. And the moment that we can say, your ratzon is my ratzon, I'm telling you, the sea splits open. There are yeshuot gedolot that happen to us. We should be zochei to see nisim v'neflaot. Open our eyes to nature and open our eyes to when things are not in nature. You know, to see all the miracles that are happening. And there's one more thing that I want to end with, actually, is that as we're getting to all these 7 days of eating matzah, and everyone is asking for the Geula to come. So how do we bring the Geula? How do we bring the Geula? How do we have Hashem splitting the sea? We said, first of all, we have to make Hashem's ratzon our ratzon. There's one other way. We take the word galut, we take the word Geula. The only difference is an aleph. Aleph is one. Aleph is Hashem. It's putting the aleph, the ratzon of Hashem, the light of Hashem, the aura of Hashem, into what? Into the situation that we feel it. And it's having an ayin tovah about it. Now, I'm not saying to always just, try, and sometimes I try so hard to see the positive, I get worn out, and I'm just like, I can't anymore. And there I realize also Hashem just wants me to keep going and stop trying so hard, But I will tell you that I heard a story that I loved so much. It's from the Rebbe. And I think this is how we're going to bring the Geula, and how we're going to have these seas split open to us by accepting Hashem's ratzon. There was a couple, and their son was struggling. They came to the Rebbe. And the Blavitcher Rebbe said, well, what do you want me to do? And they said, can we bring our son to you? He says, sure, of course you can. So they bring the son to him, and this is, I'm sure this was like 1960s, I don't know when it was, but the guy was a hippie. Okay, long hair, earrings going on, I don't know, he looked like a hippie. So he comes into the office of the Rebbe, and what does he do? He sits back and he puts his feet up on the desk. Now imagine putting up your dirty feet, probably with Birkenstocks, I don't know, in the face of the Rebbe, and on his desk. How disrespectful can you get? Rabbi looks at him and he says to him, you know what? You are a person who's pure emes. You're pure truth. You can't act one way, feel another way. How you are internally is how you are externally. You're not going to put on any false pretenses. You're not going to try to flatter. You are a person of truth. And because you're such a person of truth, I want you to go back to your university, and I want you to open up a center for Jewish students, and I want you to teach them the truth. The guy looks, he's startled. He can't believe it. In 2 seconds, he has his feet off the table, feeling ashamed. And guess what? He opens up a center for Jewish students, teaching, and eventually he became a teacher himself. What did Rebbe do? He saw the Aleph, he saw the Or, he saw Hashem inside this person in front of him. And there we are in every situation. There are times where we're just so tired. I'm tired of screaming. I'm tired of fighting. Hashem says it's okay. There are times in life where you have to daven b'kol ram, and times in life we have to daven b'kol lachalash. There are times we have to daven very loud, and times when we daven that it's silent almost. Hashem hears all our tefillahs. Don't think it's like this or this. But the most important part there is don't give up. Keep going. Keep walking with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. This is what he's telling us. Because to do is Ratzon, wait, Hashem, I want to fight, but that's not what I want you to do. I want to give up, but I'm not letting you. I don't want you to do that either. I want you to do the miracle this way. No, it's not going to happen that way. Hashem says, not always is the cure going to be in the medicine. And not always is the shidduch going to come from the shadchan. And not always is the parnasa going to come from that type of work. But just keep walking. I'm telling you, I can do miracles that are open. I can do miracles that are under the table. So what do? B'ezrat Hashem, shel Pesach, keep taking the plunge. Keep going forward, walking with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Fill yourself up with last days of Emunah, last days with matzah. We're going to enter that chometz. We should be zochei in the moments that we need to be like Aaron, domem, like just domem, just to be quiet, just to accept Ratzon Hashem and understand that everything is latovah, everything is for the good, even when we don't understand it. This is like a very, very high level, I know. But it's a level we can all obtain by working on it. B'ezrat Hashem, Chag Sameach.